Okay, so today we're going to be covering the ultimate e-commerce pop-up playbook. This is a full 60-page Google Doc course filled with proven strategies that will cut acquisition costs, grow your email list, and turn website visitors into subscribers for 7 to 9 figure brands. These are all the proven strategies that we've used over the last 4 to 5 years across 80 to 90 plus clients in like 13 different industries. So no matter what it is, you're going to walk away with tons of valuable insights through this video. And so throughout this video, we're going to be covering why pop-ups are important to scale your business, the 4 most effective types of pop-ups, 10 proven offers that convert visitors into subscribers, how collecting data drives higher conversions and engagement, our 6-step process for creating high converting pop-ups, the ultimate 32-step pop-up conversion checklist, 10 common pop-up mistakes most brands are making, 6 pop-up A/B split tests every brand should run for maximum ROI, advanced pop-up strategies for 7 to 9 figure brands, and a swipe file of 20 plus high converting pop-up forms that are driving 15 to 20% opt-in rates for brands like Nike, Breeze, and many more. So whether you're optimizing for pop-ups for your own brand or for your clients, you're going to walk away with tons of valuable, actionable insights. Okay. Now, why should you listen to us? I'm Matthew Gale. I'm the founder of the Kaizen Blitz. We're a full-service retention and lifecycle marketing partner that helps e-com brands convert more customers, increase MRR, and drive higher lifetime values. We've generated over $25 million so far for 80 plus brands such as Rest.com, Dr. Kellyanne, Meter Red Light, Under Luna, Hank's Belts, and tons more. These are my social media profile handles at the bottom below, so you could take a look. Also, be sure to check the link in the description for this document. You sign up, you'll get access to it, and so you could kind of hold on to it for later on. So, ladies and gentlemen, grab a pen and paper, upload the transcript of this video into AI, download the copy of this document in the description below. Do whatever you need to do because you're going to find tons of value into this. That's going to help drive tons of revenue for your brand. So, anyways, let's get started. All right, so let's get started with what is exactly a pop-up. A pop-up is a window that appears over your website content, prompting visitors to take a specific action, which is normally submitting their email address or phone number in exchange for something of value. Keep that in mind. Unlike regular static forms embedded on your website, pop-ups get your visitors' attention by interrupting the browsing experience. Now, why these are important is that most people who visit your store aren't ready to buy immediately. The standard conversion rate for any online store is 1 to 3%. 3% is great. You're high up there if you're at 3. But what that means is that out of 100 visitors that you drive to your website from Meta, Google, TikTok, organic SEO, only 1 to 3 will purchase on their first visit on average. And so let's say you're paying $1 per click, which is generally on a good day. A lot of brands are paying $2, $3, $4 per click on average. That means you're spending $100 minimum to hopefully convert 1 to 3 visitors, while the other 97 to 99 are just not going to buy right away. Instead, they have objections that you have to address, like, I just discovered this brand, can I trust them? I don't have the budget right now, payday is next week, do these products actually work as advertised? Why should I choose this brand over the countless others I've seen on my feed? And so unless you have a super unique product that your customers feel like they need, of a high AOV, average order value, to offset expensive advertising costs, or a premium conversion rate optimization strategy that converts past 3%, it can be close to impossible to grow your business profitably without finding another way to bring them back to the site. And also without spending even more money on paid advertising. And that's where a profitable pop-up strategy comes in. So now, breaking down the numbers, you really have 2 scenarios when it comes to pop-ups. So scenario 1, without a high converting pop-up, you spend $5,000 on Facebook ads driving 10,000 visitors to your site. Let's say that's a $50, 50-cent cost per click. The average conversion rate is 2%, resulting in 200 purchases. The other 9,800 visitors leave without taking any action. And so to reach those lost visitors, again, you need to spend even more advertising dollars to reach them. Or you have scenario B, which is with a high converting pop-up, you still spend the same five grand driving 10,000 visitors. Your average conversion rate is still 2% with 200 purchases. But now your pop-up captures email addresses from 8 to 12% of non-buyers. So this is going to be roughly 700 to 1,200 new subscribers coming to your site. Now, what that means is that with a really good welcome flow and as these people are coming in with the help of your welcome flow and your email campaigns, you're converting at least 10 to 20% of those subscribers within 30 days, which is an extra 78 to 235 additional sales, all without spending an extra penny on Meta or Google, right? And that's why pop-ups are super essential for maximizing your ROI. You're going to get essentially you're getting a second chance at converting these visitors who weren't ready to purchase immediately, right? So that's essentially like, covering like the long-term value of pop-ups. There's a lot more benefits to pop-ups than just capturing contact info. You're going to lower your customer acquisition costs. You're building valuable high first-party data that you can use later on. You can really create lots of segmentation opportunities based on interests or based on like whatever information or data that you can collect from your pop-up. You're establishing an own marketing channel. So unlike paid social or even paid social or organic, you're under the control of algorithms who can say, hey, we're going to throttle your performance. You have to pay a higher CPM, all that. Whereas email and SMS, you just get direct access to that audience. And then also number 5, you accelerate the customer journey, because with a really good welcome flow and a good pop-up and sending campaigns, you can educate visitors and address objections faster. Okay. Now that we know what, the purpose of a really good pop-up, what are the traits of a high converting pop-up? Because that's the main thing there. You can have anyone could throw up a pop-up like a template and get zero, like not even 1% of visitors coming in, versus you gotta have a high converting pop-up that's converting people at like 8, 9, 10, 12% of overall visitors. So there's mainly 5 main traits that we kind of see when it comes to high converting pop-ups. So number 1 is the pop-up type. So choosing the right format based on your specific goals and visitor behavior. 2 is the type of offer. So what are you offering? What incentive are you giving out in order for people to give them their info? 3 is data collection strategy. So what data are you collecting? Is it just an email, or is it also like SMS? Is it their birthday? There's lots of stuff that you could do there. 4, proper setup and integration. So making sure that everything's set up properly, and understanding the targeting, understanding who's receiving the pop-ups on your website. And then number 5 is split testing and making sure you're optimizing them for conversions. So going over the 4 most effective types of pop-ups. Pretty much the design and functionality of your pop-up can really impact the overall performance. And so here are the kind of 4 main types that we kind of see that really work well. So number 1 is a standard pop-up. This is, as you can see here, the classic pop-up window that appears on the center of your screen, really just obscuring the website content behind it. So these work really well when you're just trying to find a really good balance between getting people's attention and respecting the visitor experience. As you can see here, the pop-up comes up, but it doesn't block out everything on the website. You can still see, like, it's kind of like darkened in the background, but you can still see what's going on the website. They're prominent enough to be noticed, but don't completely interrupt the browsing experience. So that's the standard pop-up. Now, on the other hand of that is the full screen pop-up. So this is a pop-up that covers the entire screen, completely blocking access to the website until the visitor takes action or dismisses it. So these are best for like email and SMS, major promotions and sales, and like limited time offers with like really high urgency. As you can see here, Joy has a whole screen pop-up on the visitor screen saying 23% off, and then you can't really do anything unless you click no thanks or you click the X on the top right corner. So from what we've seen is that full screen pop-ups take up more space and it's harder to opt out of, but it's going to drive a higher opt-in rate. So you really have to think about, what do you really want your brand to, if you really care about like your brand performance or the brand/website experience, you can really just go with the standard pop-up. But from what we've seen, full screen really performs better almost every time. Next is number 3, the slide in and slide out pop-up. So this is just the bottom right-hand corner of someone's website. As you can see, as someone's going through, this thing slides out saying, hey, you could get a free ring sizer. This is a really good strategy. It's a lot more subtle. It's not like just completely in your face, and you can honestly still ignore it. You can still go through the website, you can still scroll through, and you're not blocking a lot of the content. From what we've seen, works best for like if you do a personalized recommendation, if you have a VIP offer, if you have a lead magnet, if you want to do product promotion or a cart reminder. These work fantastic for those. It's also like really good for like if people are already on your list. So if you already have someone's email, but you also want to collect more data like a birthday or their SMS, this works really well. So we're going to get into a lot more of that later on, but I just want to point this out. That's how that really works. Also, pro tip, they work really well when they're triggered by website behavior or customer type. Like I said, if you already have their email list, or if they're already on your email list and you have their email, you can collect other pieces of data with them. And then number 4 is the exit intent pop-up. So this is essentially, as you can see here in the GIF, someone's about to scroll up, the mouse is going up, and then this pop-up comes up. This really appears when the visitor's mouse moves towards the browser's close button or address bar, indicating that they're about to leave your site. Works really best for like last chance offers, cart abandonment prevention, email capture from bouncing visitors. Ideally, you want to make it different from the regular pop-up that you have, because otherwise it can really work. You're still gonna get performance, but if you really want to just optimize it, that's what you really want to go for, is just changing it up and make it different. And why this works best is, or why this really works, is that exit intent pop-ups capitalize on the last possible moment to convert a leaving visitor, right? So since the visitor is already planning on leaving, there's literally no downside to showing the pop-up right before they leave, right? So that's essentially it there. Now, when it comes to choosing the right pop-up for your goals, it really depends on the goal of your pop-up, understanding where it fits in the customer journey on your website. If you want a standard pop-up, you want to think about, like when you pick out the type, you want to think about which one are you picking out, how intrusive is it going to be for the overall website experience, and what is the overall goal and objective, right? Is it really just they just landed on your site and they're new and they never heard from you guys? Or is it they already know who you guys are, you have already either email address, or do you guys have a sale coming up? All this has to, you'll have to take all this into account when you build these out, but we're going to get into that more later. And then quick little pro tip, you can drive a lot more opt-ins with teasers. So this also kind of comes into play with the type of pop-up that you're doing. So teasers are just essentially like little tabs that stick out on the side or corner of the visitor screen. So why these work is that teasers are an amazing way to give website visitors the option to open the pop-up for an incentive if that's what they're looking for, without like interrupting the website experience. So as you can see here on rest.com, we have this little teaser in the bottom left-hand corner, extra 10% off. You go there, you click on it, and then the pop-up comes up. So that's something to keep in mind. That they can also help recover potentially lost subscribers who accidentally close the pop-up without putting their info. So if they receive the pop-up and they just opt out, but then they're like, oh wait, I could get a discount, I messed up, I want to get the pop-up again. Generally the teasers come up after they exit out, so that they can click back on and then sign up. And then number 3 is that teasers can appear immediately when someone lands on your site, or be triggered the same way as a pop-up based on time, percentage of page scrolled, and more. So that's also one thing to keep in mind. And we've seen a huge performance bump by just including teasers. There's no downside to having them. Now, going over the 10 proven offers that convert visitors into subscribers. Now, what you offer your visitors in exchange for their contact info is equally, if not more important than the type of pop-up you're using. So having the right offer can really drive high pop-up conversion rate and attract the right type of subscribers. But it all comes down to what you're really offering. So number 1, we can see for Groons, they are doing a percentage off discount. You got 52% off. Just put in your email address to receive your discount. Why this really works is that percentage discounts are really easy to understand and feel like a really significant value when the purchase amount is smaller, right? So let's say you're selling something you have average order value of $20, $25. If you say 20% off, that's only just $5 off, but it feels like a huge discount. They also encourage customers to explore more of your catalog, since the discount can apply to everything. Generally, they don't have to. You could do it based on a specific product, saying, hey, get 20% off our phone, our mouse, tablet, whatever it is, or t-shirts, whatever it is. But you can also do it for all orders. A little quick pro tip for this, if you're going to include this to increase the value, like the average AOV of your purchases, you can also include like a minimum purchase threshold. So saying like, hey, you got 10% off your order, and this is only for orders $200 or more, right? And so you can have like a threshold and say, hey, we're giving away this discount, but as long as it hits your AOV threshold, so that it works well in your favor, right? You're driving higher AOVs, and you're making sure that this is converting in it profitably, right? You're getting margin out of this. And then another thing you could do is just make sure that it's like 20 to 30% above your current AOV to increase cart values while still providing value, right? It doesn't have to be 20 to 30%. It could be 10, it could be 5, but as long as you're just getting something of value out of the discount, that really works well for you guys. Number two is the dollar amount off discount. This really works well for like brands that have a high product cost, right? Or like, yeah, your cost of your product is really expensive. Like, let's say you're in the hundreds of dollars. This can really make the savings concrete and tangible. And so for higher price items, a fixed dollar amount can appear more premium than a percentage. So if you're selling something for $250, you can say you got 10% off, or you can say you got $25 off. $25 off is a lot more enticing. So just keep that in mind. If you're selling higher price items, you should definitely go with dollar amount. There are times where we see the percentage where it's more than the dollar amount for those in those situations, but you just got to test. Number three is a mystery discount. So a mystery discount is really just, visitors are submitting their email to reveal a mystery random discount. This really works well when with like you're really just giving people the element of surprise and potential for a bigger discount, which can increase conversion rates through gamification, pretty much meaning that you're incentivizing people to leave their email and saying like, oh, you could get an actual discount. And also it doesn't feel kind of cheap to say, oh, anyone could get a discount. It's just really like, we're giving you something. We're not telling you until you sign up. So that's like another strategy you can kind of run with. Number four is the free gift with purchase. So this is like a really simple strategy that not a lot of brands are using, but it works pretty well. Especially if you have like lower price items or whatever. Pretty much you're offering a free product with purchase over a certain threshold. So here we can get a free bag of midnight cookies. You just got to click on get free bag. You put in an email, they'll give you a code. But as long as you're above the AOV at like, if your order value is like $50 or more, you get a free bag, right? And so why this works is that free products can feel a lot more tangible than discounts and can introduce customers to other items in your catalog, right? They also maintain price integrity while still providing value, right? So you're not really discounting your products. You're just saying, hey, we're giving this away for free. It's at a $17 value. Just make sure you have an order of $50, $100 or more to get it. And then another pro tip, you can use this opportunity to introduce customers to either bestsellers that they might not otherwise try, so that this can create potential for repeat purchases of the free item in the future. So if you have a really good bestseller, you can give away for free, or if you have tons of inventory, like if you have inventory backlog of tons of other products that aren't quite selling, you can also give that away for free to like make sure you're increasing the inventory velocity there. Next is free shipping. So generally, if you want to be more premium, see yourself as more of a premium brand, you can offer free shipping as an incentive for people to sign up. So just like how Caraway is doing here, offer free shipping with a minimum purchase threshold. This really works well because shipping costs are one of the biggest reasons for cart abandonment. So generally, like in fact, like 73% of shoppers say that free shipping is the most important factor when checking out online. And so if you can offer free shipping as a pop-up and say, hey, we don't really discount, we don't really have offer free shipping, but if you sign up, we'll give it to you. That really works pretty well. And then a quick little pro tip, you can set the free shipping threshold like 20 to 30% above your current AOV, just like we did with the percent off discount. So if, for example, your average order value is $80, you can offer free shipping on orders over 100. You can see Caraway doing that here. Enter your email to receive free shipping on orders $90 or more. That's something to keep in mind. Next, number 6 is cash back. So instead of offering upfront, like an upfront discount or upfront price, like dollar amount off, you can offer a percent or dollar amount of cash back they'll receive from their first purchase, right? So you can see CrossNet, they're essentially like offering people $20 cash back if they buy for the first time. So essentially how it works is that they'll make a first purchase and that's all margin, that's all revenue. And then the customer gets cash back that they can use on the second purchase, right? So why this works is that offering cash back not only allows you to retain margin on the first purchase, but also allows you to drive a higher amount of repeat purchases since the customers are incentivized to purchase again with the cashback, right? And the best part is that not everyone's going to redeem the cashback offer. I think I've heard some stuff saying that, about like only 90% of people really use the cashback. And so you can really offer more cash back on the front end to really drive lots of opt-ins, but the chances of like 50% of the people using it or like 90, 80, it's not that high. And so you can really you get to really incentivize people to really go ahead and use it or like opt in for it. Number 7, this is the giveaway entry. So you can see here, Mito Red Light, win a Mito Pro 300 plus. Pretty much visitors enter their email for a chance to win a product or a gift card. So the perceived value of this can be really high. So you say, hey, win $500 worth of products. It could be a huge gift basket. It could be a bundle. It could be your higher tiered product. While the actual cost of the brand is really limited, right? The only like you're only sacrificing like COGS, like cost of goods sold. So if you have a product that is it's worth $500, but your margin is 50, you're only giving up $250 to get tons of opt-ins coming in because they want to win this giveaway, right? Rather than giving away a discount up front and then you're losing margin on that. They also giveaways can also create a lot of excitement and shareability, virality. You can also extend this out to like social media, right? So you can extend this out. You could put paid ads behind it. You could promote it on Meta. There's tons of ways of running this, but the main one, if you want to just do it on your website as a pop-up, this is a simple way of doing that. And then a quick little pro tip: you can always follow up with a special offer for non-winners. So if you get like 10,000 people opting into your site, one person wins. You also have like 9,999 other people who didn't, who are also incentivized to buy from you because they want to get your product. So you can really just go ahead and say, hey, as a thanks for the consideration. You didn't win, but we'll give you a consolation prize of 10% off our website. And then we've seen that works really well for lots of different brands. This also converts giveaway participants who didn't win, but also might be interested in purchasing. So that's also a good strategy there. 8, we just got 3 more. 8 is a free guide or content. So this is really just like a lead magnet that ideally helps them shop with you or get them closer to the goals. So you can see with Theradome here, they have top 10 questions about laser phototherapy and hair regrowth answered. That's like a super simple pop-up that you can include there. Other examples are 10 ways to style your new scarf, the ultimate guide to natural skincare, complete beginner's handbook to home espresso, the ultimate e-commerce pop-up playbook. Exactly. Pretty much why this works is that content provides immediate value without discounting your products. So you're not really discounting anything here. You're really just getting people to come in and say, they're interested in learning more about it, especially if there's like lots of like educational components, or like it's a complex product, or it's around something that people don't really understand. Or where customer education is part of the buying process. This works really, really well. So think about like dieting, think about like hair loss is like a big one. Anything like with health, it's huge. This can work really well. It's not, you can use it as like a main pop-up, but this could also just be like a slide in, just to like really just drive people in to like want to get something for, just to learn more and just pushing them towards the website. And then also, pro tip, make sure to create guides that address common obstacles in the buying process. So for example, if sizing is an issue, provide a comprehensive size guide. So you're not only capturing emails, but you're also addressing purchase objections that people might be having. Next is early access. So this works really, really well around sales. So it's essentially a pop-up inviting subscribers to get early access to new releases or sales before the general public. So the reason why this works is that early access leverages exclusivity and FOMO, fear of missing out, without discounting. It's really effective for brands with strong followings, or have, they do drops or limited edition products. Also works really, really well for brands with like limited inventory or seasonal releases, or like I said, product drops. And then quick little pro tip with this is that you can create, if you're going to use this and utilize this in your strategy, make sure that you create like a tiered early access system where your highest value customers get access first, and then email subscribers, and then the general public. So this rewards loyalty while still leveraging the offer for new subscribers. So that's something to just like really keep in mind. And then lastly, the 10th offer that you can be using is no offer at all. Exactly. I know that doesn't make sense. It's a paradox, but what we're talking about is a non-offer redirect. So unlike traditional email capture pop-ups, they not all have to, be asking for an email address or giving something away for free. What you could be doing is you can be redirecting people on your website to other parts of the website, or you could be redirecting traffic somewhere else. So that's what these pop-ups are for. You're redirecting. These redirect pop-ups don't ask for any information. You're just guiding visitors to important pages or content in the site. So this could be great for flash sales, product launches, important updates, all that. The reason why this works is that pop-ups can create focused pathways through your site, guiding visitors to exactly where you want them to go without the friction of form filling, right? So they could significantly increase the visibility of key promotions that might otherwise be missed. And so like a quick little pro tip here, these pop-ups aren't going to really build your email list, but they can be really effective at driving immediate conversions. You should be really considering using them in combination with email capture pop-ups by varying their display rules, making sure not both pop-ups come up at the same time, but just making sure that, hey, if people are on the website for a little while, send them to the sale collection, send them to clearance, send them to a new product. It's really going to help with your overall conversions. One strategy that we did here for a brand was they have a hair quiz. They have a hair quiz on their site. They weren't getting so much traffic there. And so what we did was we said, anyone that's on the website for 20 seconds, we had a slide in saying, hey, you don't know if this product is right for you, take our hair quiz. We drove within a month, drove 50% more traffic to the hair quiz and drove 41% increase in overall conversions. And we drove massive increase in conversions because the quiz, the funnel worked really well. And so that's something that you have to keep in mind. If you have something that's really converting really high, consider driving more traffic to it. Consider using this because it's going to help drive lots of conversions. Okay, now that we've covered all the different offers, let's go into offer testing strategy. A/B testing is going to be the most important thing that you're going to be able to be doing when you're setting up all these pop-ups, right? And so naturally, what you should be doing is just test. That's all it is that you should be doing when it comes to your pop-ups and your offers, right? You never want to assume which offer is going to resonate best with your audience. And you always want to be testing different offers against each other to figure out what converts best for your specific brand and traffic. Never assume, figure out what works best for you guys because that's the best way you're going to know exactly what works. So just as a simple testing framework, start with 2 to 3 different offer types. So 10% off versus 3 free shipping, free gift, whatever it might be. And make sure you test each for at least 2,000 to 3,000 visitors per variation to get statistically significant results. And then also not only just measure sign-up rates, but also look at bounce rates, attributed conversion revenue, first purchase conversion rate. Pretty much just making sure like how many people are converting with this pop-up or this offer, and then also looking at how much revenue is that driving, right? That's also really important to keep in mind. And then also lastly, like making sure that your offers are aligning with your welcome flow. So make sure that your welcome flow aligns with the offer you made in your pop-up. So just making sure that there's consistency in the messaging and ensuring you deliver on your promises. So for example, if your pop-up offers a discount code, your first welcome email should feature that code. If you're offering a free guide, make sure you're delivering that guide with clear download instructions. If you promise early access, communicate clearly when and how they'll receive that access. It's just making sure everything is consistent. It builds trust, increased likelihood of conversion from subscriber to customer. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go over collecting data. So in terms of when it comes to collecting data, generally you're going to get higher conversions and engagement because of the data you're collecting. For the most part, 95% of the time, you should just be collecting the email address, especially if you're just starting off. If you're a new brand, you don't need their birthday. You don't need to know their social security number or the pet's name or the pet's birthday or when they adopted them. You don't need to know most of this stuff because it's not going to really resonate with your brand. It's not going to really drive. It's going to impact you. It's going to negatively impact you more than it's going to positively impact you. Because what you're really looking for is just a path of least resistance, and all you really need until that subscriber turns into a customer. That's all you're going to need is that email. But collecting additional zero-party data can optimize your email marketing when it comes to personalization, increase customer lifetime value. The important part is collecting this data without sacrificing conversion rates. Because if you're sacrificing conversion rates, if you're collecting data and you're trying to personalize the messaging and it's not driving higher conversion rates, then all that work is just for nothing and it's making everything worse off. So now let's get into why additional data matters. Collecting more than just email addresses allow you to create highly personalized marketing, improve customer segmentation, enhance product recommendations, increase loyalty and retention, and reduce unsubscribes. So let's go over some effective strategies for collecting this valuable data. So the most optimal way to doing this, I don't have any examples here, but essentially, instead of having one pop-up screen and saying, hey, what's your first name? What is your email? What is your birthday? What is your phone number? All this stuff on one simple screen. Just collect the email address first, because that's the only thing you really need to know for them to join your email list. Once when you have that, once that's submitted, you can create another slide and another screen asking for a first name or for their phone number or for their birthday. You can create multiple different screens, but it's important to keep in mind only one screen should have one input, maximum two. If you have more than two, it's not even worth it. Okay, so first screen only asks for the email address. Then once they submit that, a second screen appears with one or two more questions, asking additional info, all that sort of stuff. Why this works is that commitment and consistency kicks in when you only have it set up that way. And what I mean by that is that when someone's already committed to completing the form, they're more likely to continue providing info until they're done with the overall screen. And so that's something to really keep in mind as you're really building this out. And also, if you have this entire screen and it's like super complicated and complex with, like multiple steps, people are less incentivized and people are less inclined to like input that all in, right? Because they're just like, oh, it's work. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to X out. So with that out of the way, let's get into fun data collection pop-ups and forums that's really going to enhance your overall marketing. So number one is the quiz/survey pop-up. This is a pop-up or a series of 1 to 3 simple one-click questions that help you understand your audience. So data you can collect, some data points you can collect include goals and challenges, such as what's your biggest skincare concern, preferences, which style best matches your aesthetic, experience level. Are you a beginner or an expert? Or usage habits, how often do you work out, right? So you can see, as we can see here, how often do you eat or cook Latin cuisine? Every day, all day, a few times a week, when the craving hits, never, but I'm curious. And then also, when are you looking to upgrade your makeup? Today, in a few days, in a few weeks, in a few months. This works really well because these quiz funnels create a really personalized experience and can make subscribers feel understood. They're also really engaging and interactive, and they work better when you set expectations with like progress indicators. So if you have like 3 steps, you say, hey, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. Say, hey, first question, second question, last question. That also helps out quite a bit. And so some results we've seen, we're going to get into these later on, but you can see 28% more, 28% increase in signups for email and SMS, 14% increase in attributed order revenue, and then also a 0% difference in overall bounce rate. So that's also something really cool. 2 is birthday collection. So you can collect birthday data, which creates opportunity for a birthday campaign or flow throughout the year. Pretty much pop-up or the site can screen ask for the birthday month or the full birthday. You just clearly explain what's the benefit. You get a special gift on your birthday. You get you get this discount. You get a free gift, whatever, and then you automate that to a birthday flow. The reason why this works is that giving a discounted or exclusive offer to your audience's birthday. This isn't really like a new strategy, but it's one that's like underutilized. A lot of brands that use it. But if you're really looking for a boost in additional revenue, you could definitely be trying it out and see like what you can really be doing there to help out. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you're giving a discount or exclusive offer for this birthday, just only ask for the month. You don't need to have it by the day. And then also don't clearly communicate the reward, or else you're just going to get tons of fake birthdays that are surprisingly next month, right? So that's another thing you could be collecting. Next is pet information. So for pet-focused brands, if you sell pet food, pet accessories, anything around health or products or beds, whatever it is, it's always a great idea to collect your subscribers' pet information. Now, you don't want to obviously include so much stuff, but you want to say, hey, if you have a pet, what kind is it? Is it a dog, cat, whatever? What kind of breed is it? What's their name? What's their birthday? Or when did you collect them? The reason why this works is that pet owners are really highly motivated by the pet's needs and love being recognized as pet parents. They always want to, it's like their kid. It's like their child, right? And so if you can really provide lots of extra info, like if you can collect more info about their pet, they're not only going to appreciate that, but they're also going to be like, wow, like you can use that for your marketing, and then you can personalize it, and it helps convert them later on. They also like sharing stuff about their pets. Next is SMS collection. So collecting the subscriber, we all are trying to collect their email address. Email marketing is a huge thing here. But one thing we can be doing is also collecting their phone number after collecting their email address for omni-channel opportunities. So just present a clear value proposition benefit to SMS, offer SMS exclusive benefits, and then also make sure the opt-in process is transparent and compliant to the laws. So obviously having like the plain text there with like privacy policies and all that. Why this works, the SMS marketing has a lot higher engagement rate than email, pretty much 98% open rates, and there's no better time to collect all that data than when they're first signing up. And then a quick little pro tip, one thing we like to do for our clients and brands, and something that we've seen work really well, is offering a slightly higher incentive for SMS subscribers than email for higher conversions. So if your email pop-up offers 10% off, ask if they want a higher 15% discount for signing up with SMS, and you can really just give them a separate code via SMS. Now, one thing to keep in mind when it comes to offering and asking for SMS, and if you do this strategy, is don't force subscribers to sign up for SMS in order to receive the incentive or move to the next step. So if you have a pop-up saying, hey, get 10% off, get 10% off your order, just input your email, and then you say, hey, finish signing up to get the discount or get the offer or whatever, you should always give them the incentive or give them the option to skip giving you their phone number. Doing so can feel pretty dishonest for the end consumer and lead to a bad brand experience. Pretty much you can see here for this brand, it really just says finish signing up for text to activate up to 49% off. They have the phone number, fine print, and then they have the button. But there's no skip or no things button. And if you click the X in the top right, you just shut out the consumer, right? Like the pop-up goes away. And then if someone X's out of the pop-up, they're just left confused as to like, what are they supposed to be doing next, right? There's no, did I get it? Did it go to my email address? Did I get it to my phone? I mean, they didn't get the sign up for the phone number, but you get my point. It just feels dishonest, and from what we've seen, it just doesn't really work well. There's no benefit for doing that. So just make sure you have that set up, and you don't do it that way because it just kind of looks bad on the brand. And then also results we've seen here by including SMS is 25 to 75% of new email subscribers will also provide SMS when properly incentivized. Combined email and SMS subscribers have 20 to 25% higher lifetime value, and then SMS can contribute between 10 to 25% of your monthly revenue through like when it comes to like email and SMS, like through Klaviyo, it's about like 10 to 25% increase in overall revenue coming from those channels. So keep that in mind. Other ways to collect data that isn't just through pop-ups is just instead of like collecting all the data at once, you can gradually build customer profiles over time through other website visits or interactions across email and your website. So as you can see here in this example, data collection via welcome flow. What benefit are you mainly looking to receive from red light therapy? Is it to reduce inflammation, skin repair, improve sleep? If people click on that, then that input is directly linked to their Klaviyo profile. So you can sync that up together within the welcome flow. Other ways of doing this is including future pop-ups that collect birthdays, visitor data, etc. Like after they sign up for email. You can also include the welcome flow with data collection, and then also post-purchase surveys can get more detailed preferences. That way you reduce friction at each step while building comprehensive profiles over time. All right. So now that we've covered all of the collecting data, just some things to keep in mind as you're collecting data is balancing data collection with conversion rates. I already kind of covered this before, but you don't want to sacrifice data collection for website conversion rates or opt-in rates. It's important to find a really good fine balance between the two because the ultimate goal of collecting data is to drive higher conversion rates and more revenue. And so if you're collecting data and revenue or conversion rate goes down, that's a big no-no. That you're completely missing the point. So how to find a balance is that start minimally and then expand gradually. So begin with email-only pop-ups, establish a baseline conversion rate, opt-in rate, everything, and then test additional fields. So then test SMS, test the birthdays, test, if it's the quiz or pop-up, then, you should be testing that out. Make sure number 2 is track impact on key metrics. So not just overall conversion rates, but also completion rates at each step, form abandonment rates, quality of leads. So if you're testing out the quality between and this is also a thing for the offers too. If you're seeing a difference between 10% versus the giveaways, you're probably going to see a big difference with the giveaways, people who sign up for the giveaway. So make sure the quality of leads is good. And then also unsubscribe rates is a big one there too. Number 3, value exchange principle. For every piece of information you're asking to collect, clearly explain what you're going to give in return. That's a simple key thing there. You don't even have to give something in return. You just have to give a reason why. If you just give a reason why, more people are inclined to give you their information. And then also prioritize data by impact. So not all data is equally valuable. If you're asking about their dog's birthday, you don't need to know about their allergies too. Unless that's literally what you're selling, right? Prioritize collecting information that will have the biggest impact on your marketing, such as customer type, phone number and SMS, product preferences, and birthdays. Now, just going over like a quick case study that we've done for a client in the past, this is how we increase opt-ins by 30% and increase attributed sales by 12% without impacting bounce rates with survey pop-ups. So as you can see here, here are the metrics that we're tracking. Here's a standard pop-up, and here's the survey question pop-up. So as you can see here, there's a big difference in overall like email and SMS signups. Conversion rates have dropped a little bit, but overall with the signups, they've gone up, as well as attributed orders and overall revenue. I just can't show revenue because it just doesn't, client information, very private client information. But essentially what we did is we ran a pop-up A/B split test for our 8-figure client. Instead of asking, want to get 10% off your order confirmation slide, we just simply asked customers, what's your biggest sleep challenge? So it's, I sleep hot at night, I can't fall asleep, stay asleep, I wake up tired, nothing particular. And so with over 4,000 new subscribers submitting responses, not only did we collect tons of additional data, which we can now use for messaging splits through our welcome flow and campaigns, but it also resulted in 30% higher sign-up rates, 14% more attributed revenue, and a 0% difference in bounce rate. Simply by collecting first-party data instead of just jumping straight to discounts. We're getting more signups and revenue without hurting the user experience. Huge, massive win-win that we got from the split test. And that's something you can really expect as long as you're split testing the stuff and seeing what's working. Now, covering the process for high converting pop-ups. We've already covered the types of pop-ups, the offers, pretty much why they're important. Now, how can you set these up to make sure that they're converting really, really well? So number one, you want to define your pop-up strategy. Before diving into design, clarify the strategic elements. What action do you want people to take? How will you measure success? And what KPIs are you going to track, right? Is it conversion rate, revenue per pop-up view? Is it email signups, conversions, clicks to a specific page? You got to know what you're really looking for. Next, you're going to choose your offer type. So 10% off. Is it 10% off? Is it a dollar amount off? Free gift, whatever. Then you're going to determine your pop-up type. So is it a slide-in? Is it a full screen, etc.? And then understand what data you want to collect. And then also pro tip, start with your offer and goals and then choose the pop-up type that best delivers that message. The offer should drive the format, not vice versa. There's a reason why we went over the offer first. Or actually, we didn't go over the offer first. But make sure that you're going over offer first. Next, designing your pop-up. So your pop-up design needs to capture attention quickly while aligning with your brand. This is a big one. This is a key one. You have to make sure that it's working really well. And because if you do this wrong, then it's just not going to convert well. So number one is creating compelling copy. So you want a headline, 5 to 7 words that clearly communicate the benefit. A subheadline, so 1 to 2 sentences that provide further context. CTA button text, action oriented. Make sure it says get my discount instead of submit. You can include form labels. You don't have to. And then also exit link text. No thanks or skip is perfectly fine. Or you could do like no thanks, I'll pay full price. I've seen brands do that. Visual design elements, use your brand colors and fonts for consistency. Use a relevant product image or lifestyle photo when possible. Ensure high contrast between text and background. Make sure your form fields and CTA button are prominent, and consider adding your logo for brand recognition. And then also lastly, optimize it for mobile. This is a huge one. 70% of your traffic is coming from mobile. You have to optimize it for mobile. Okay, keep that in mind. So, example of of good copy versus poor copy. On the left hand side, you can see a really effective pop-up. Headline: you want an extra 10% off. Sign up to receive exclusive deals, early access, and join our month-long challenge to add 1 more hour to your sleep. And then CTA's claim discount. Whereas on the right hand side, we have it's an ineffective pop-up saying join our newsletter, be the first to know about new shipments, and then just sign up. It's not, you're not incentivizing, you're not talking to the customer, you're not letting them know like what they're getting out, what they're getting for exchanging their info and giving you their email address, right? Now that we have that covered, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over how to build a pop-up in Klaviyo, because we can't have a course without a step-by-step guide on how to do that. So going over everything inside Klaviyo, we're going to be going over the forms and how to submit this. So we have this pop-up from Fino. This is a client that we've kind of done some stuff in the past with. And now what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be setting this pop-up up in Klaviyo. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to go into the sign-up forms here, and you're just going to be, what you're going to be doing is you're going to the sign-up forms, and then you're really going to just go to create form, okay? When you create your form, you can there's plenty of templates that you could choose from, or you can go ahead and create your own with a blank form. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to say, hey, we have this pop-up here, and I'm going to pick out one that resembles it a lot. So let me just go here. What's a very simple one that we can be doing? All right, so I'm going to pick this one out. And then also you can just name it, give it a name, and then pick out the list on where you want to send the subscribers to. It could really just be a newsletter, and that's essentially it. So we're going to go create form. It's going to create it for us. We're going to give a template here to play around with. And yeah, so okay. So now that we have this all set up, now what we want to do is we want to set up the email like so. So number one, I have the limited time off. What I'm going to be doing here is that the image is on the left-hand side. So when it comes to creating the pop-up, there are really three things that you have to really keep in mind. So one is like style. So styles is the overall design of the pop-up, how it's going to look across every single slide. And then targeting and behavior is where we're going to play around with the rules and making sure that it's all set up correctly, right? And it's activated and firing in the right way. So what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be playing around with this slide and making sure that this is right. I'm also going to do this today. So number one is email SMS. I'm going to make sure that this style, this image is on the left-hand side. That's number one. Near side is medium. Pop up with this custom. This is fine. We work this. So I'm going to do. I'm going to take here. I'm going to export this out. Because I'm doing this, I need to export this out here. And then I'm going to replace. Upload the image here. And then now we have our image for female. Another thing to keep in mind here is that brush is right. Yeah, it's right. It's not popping. It's not popping up. You got to fast as well. All right, let me hide this. There we go. Yes. So this is nothing you have to keep in mind as everything's out. It's image ratio is right. Brush is not right. Image has to be large. There we go. Actually, we can large with we large. And then we new. But this is not right. I'm like, it's not right. I'm just down with this right now. I'm gonna see this long just so that we're sitting on time. In terms of your overall blocks, you have a lot of these blocks here. So you have elements such as text, a button, an image, a coupon, a countdown timer, sign up counter. A sign up counter is essentially just saying how many people are signing up through this, how many people have signed up to your email list in the last 30 days or so. So you could like include that as well as like a psychology thing. You can also include spin to win, so you can make it a spin to win pop up, and then also you can include reviews if you have Klaviyo reviews. And then in terms of inputs, you have email, you have text. This is where you can ask for people's like input if you want them to get a custom response. You can also ask for radio buttons. This is where you can do like the quizzes, like the quiz pop-ups. You can also do those through like buttons, but people do sometimes the radio buttons. Multi checkbox, date. So this is asking for the birthday, asking for the day they got their pet, and then also a drop down menu if they want to select like different options here. And then lastly is phone number. Phone number, you submit that, disclosures, and then opt-in checkbox. But that's essentially it there. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do this. I'm going to add an image here on top. You know, we're going to push this to the left, and I'm going to make this here. This is most right valid. When it comes to adjusting the output of the overall like when you want to adjust like the inputs, you're not going to be able to click on like email input and find it here. You're going to have to find the under styles. So keep that in mind, like input field text styles, they're all going to be very consistent to building that out. So keep that in mind. Okay, so now that we have this pop-up pretty much finished, and generally I wouldn't really include the phone number here in the first slide, but this is how we kind of designed it. That's how we kind of put it together. So this looks great. This is fantastic. This is exactly what we are looking for. Now that we have that out of the way, we have a really good design pop-up. Now we have to just design the post-submission experience. I'm not going to do that because I don't have that additional slide, but generally after you submit the pop-up, what you want to do is you want to make sure that when someone submits their information, you have to have a slide that is a completion slide for the pop-up. So pretty much like after someone submits their info, you can't really just close the form without any closure. You have to give them an idea of how they will get their incentive, what's going to happen next. Are they going to receive an email, an SMS? Does the coupon just pop up on the pop-up? You need to let them know what the next steps are and how it works. So number one, have a thank you message. Here you can either give them their incentive immediately via coupon code, or you can just confirm a successful sign up, reiterate the benefit that they'll receive, and provide next step expectations. So check your inbox or text messages for your discount, right? Next is redirect options. So after they've submitted their info, give them a button to close the pop-up or redirect them to another page regarding their incentive. So whether it's like a special offer or a sale or whatever. Next is email deliverability or delivery. Whether you're sending them an incentive via email or SMS, or giving them it via the thank you slide, you want to make sure you message them immediately. Make sure you sync the email list with the welcome flow. Send an immediate email with the incentive to their phone number or email, even if they already got it, and just ensure that the first welcome email aligns perfectly with that offer, right? Quick little pro tip, drive urgency in the thank you slide and welcome email by specifying when the offer expires. So your 15% discount will be delivered to your inbox in the next 5 minutes and is valid for the next 48 hours. You just need to set the expectations of what will happen for your customers, because otherwise they're just going to get upset and they're going to be confused as to what's going on with their overall experience. Next, after we have this pop-up signed up and ready to go, we need to configure the targeting rules on who sees our pop-up and when, because that can dramatically change the impacted performance. So number one, we're going to go into Klaviyo, we're going to go under targeting behavior, and we're just going to cover pretty much the basic stuff of what's really going to be happening inside the account. So number one, there's essentially, when it comes down to timing, there's essentially 3 ways to break down your timing. So number one, you could show the pop-up immediately. Right when someone lands on your page, the pop-up comes up. This can really interrupt the website experience for visitors for the most part. It's really just it throws people off. Number two is based on rules. So set a number of rules a website visitor has to complete in order for the top pop-up to appear. So this is like a time delay. How many seconds after the page load should the pop-up appear? Scroll depth, so how much should they scroll down the page for the pop-up to appear, or the number of pages visited, how many pages should they visit in order for the pop-up to come up, right? So that's generally one way to that's the second way of looking at it, which is based on times rules. And then also third is exit intent. So should it trigger when a visitor shows signs of leaving? And this is only for exit intent pop-ups. For this pop-up, this is going to be a really general pop-up, so we're going to have it be based on rules. And so for new visitor pop-ups, 5 to 10 seconds typically works really well. We're just going to go here. Make sure that it's at least 5 seconds. I'm going to turn this off because I don't want it activating when they exit the page. And then also when a visitor scrolled a certain amount, so at least 30% of the page works really well. And then also you could do it by number of pages visited. I wouldn't really do this based on this pop-up. I'm just going to keep it as is, and that's about it. Next is frequency. So after someone closes the form, how long do you want to wait until you show it to them again? The standard is roughly 3 to 5 days. You can make it longer depending on the brand, depending on your strategy. You can make this 15 days, 30 days. You can make it never. So you can say you never show it to them again. It just depends on how you want to set that up. And then also lastly is device type. Do we want to show this pop-up on a specific device? If you're optimizing your pop-up strategy, you want to make sure you select your pop-ups by device to optimize them further based on device. So you can say, I only want this to show up on all devices, maybe only desktop, maybe on mobile, and then this is how it would show up on mobile, right? But you can do it this way. You can do it that way based on this option down here. Next is targeting. So after we have the timing set up right, who are we showing this pop-up to? This is a big one here. Number one is visitor type. So who's this pop-up mainly for? For the most part, you're going to be doing don't show to existing Klaviyo profiles. So these are people who are already on your email list. You're just going to show it to these people, because otherwise, like, all these are just people who like, you're not going to really do it this way. Other options include show it to all visitors, show it to existing Klaviyo profiles, show to only email subscribers, show to only SMS subscribers, and show to a specific segment or list, so VIPs. So if you want to show it to all visitors, this could be like a sale, this could be an incentive, this could, yeah, a discount or a clearance sale or Black Friday. It's showing to everybody, no matter who you are. Showing to existing Klaviyo profiles, this is really good for people, like, if you really want to incentivize people who are already on your list, like, hey, we have an offer here. Hey, if you know about our brand already, here's a new product launch that we have coming up. If you want to show it to only SMS or email subscribers, you can show it, you can segment it based on email subscribers. So if you have people's emails but you don't have their SMS, you can set it to those people so that you have a pop-up to collect their SMS or other info. And vice versa with SMS, you have their SMS, not their email. You can set it up that way as well. And then also a specific segment or list. You could do this for win-backs. You could do this for VIP customers. You could do this for first-time customers. Doesn't really matter. You could segment it out by that way too. Next is show on certain URLs. So as there are a certain URL we want this pop-up to appear on. Generally, this is going to be, like, you could change it based on a homepage or the collection page or the product page, the about us page, cart, or checkout page. You can really change this up here. Generally, you're going to just keep it for a pop-up like this. I'm just going to keep it this like turned off, because I just want it to show everywhere for the most part. Next is don't show on certain URLs. So we are fine with this pop-up appearing on all pages on the site, except for which ones. The standard to include is going to be checkout, cart, thank you, and orders. So if you have people coming on your website, you don't really want them to interrupt the experience, whether when they're on checkout or whether they're in their cart, or if they purchased, right? We don't want this pop-up to show up. So we're going to include that as well. We're just going to go say don't show, not the wrong one. Don't show on certain URLs containing checkout, cart. Actually, I'm just going to copy and paste this. Cart, and then thank you, and then lastly is orders. And then that just makes sure that we're not interrupting the experience for anyone else who's actually going to buy or have bought. Lastly is location and UTM parameters. So location is based on showing the pop-up based on a country or region. Do we only want to show this to people who are in the US, in Australia, in Canada, and so forth? And then lastly is UTM parameters. So do we want to only show this pop-up to people who come from a specific website or traffic source? This is where I did stuff like PR comes in, or if they're coming from Facebook or Instagram or Reddit, for example. Like if you're coming from Reddit, you could throw this in as well. But that's it. That's all there is to do it when it comes to overall configuring the targeting rules. And once you have this set up, we're ready to rip onto the next section here. So now that we got that out of the way, before we click the publish button, we pretty much have the pop-up ready. But before we click that button, we have to test the pop-up. So number one is device testing. You want to check the appearance on multiple devices and browsers. Check it on iOS and Android. Check it on your mobile and desktop. For the most part, it's going to look good on Klaviyo. Like if you're on here and we go, check how it is on mobile, this is a good viewing area of like how it's going to come out. But from what we've seen, like how it looks here on desktop, this looks good already, but it's going to look huge. Generally, it's going to look a lot bigger on your website. And so you want to make sure you configure that and test that before you just set it live and just forget about it. So make sure it looks good when you set it live. There isn't really a formal way of publishing it or like testing it out. You just have to click the publish button and then go in on your website, go incognito mode, go on your website, and then just play around with it, because otherwise, it's just going to look weird. So there's that. And then also functional testing. So confirm all the pop-up triggers are correctly, confirm the pop-up triggers correctly under all specific conditions. Make sure your targeting behavior is all set up correctly. Test the form submissions. Make sure like input your email in there. See to make sure that you land in the email address. Make sure you get the welcome flow. Make sure that your data is properly captured. You want to make sure you have like everything's connected, because the second it's not, like it's just more problems and issues that you're going to solve later on. So just check to see how things are going, and then obviously we can see how it goes from there. And then lastly, launch and monitor. So all you need to do now, after you tested it out, everything works well, you got the welcome flow email, everything, like your email address has been captured, your SMS address has been captured, or SMS number, just hit publish, and now your pop-up is live. But before we go celebrating, the job isn't over yet. Once the pop-up's live, we have to keep a close eye on performance. So one thing to keep in mind is, number one is pop-up working, right? You might have tested it, you might have split tested it, but check back in after 1 to 2 days to ensure the pop-up is firing correctly. You want to make sure that the targeting is working well. Are enough people seeing the pop-up? Are enough people going through the pop-up? Just look for any just look at the submissions and number of viewed forms and see, like, is there a huge drop-off in some sort of way. And then number 2 is key metrics to track. Once you confirm the pop-up is live and firing, what you want to be doing next is just let it sit and collect data. We want a minimum of 1,000 to 2,000 viewed forms before making any changes to optimize and improve it. And then in terms of like industry benchmarks, if you don't know what to expect with a pop-up, if you don't know how it should be performing, the general industry standards for some benchmarks for opt-in rates is generally 0 to 2% is poor. You really need to improve it. 2 to 4% is the average generally. 5 to 8% is good, and if you're above 8%, you're golden. And then lastly, a few more things is just optimization opportunities. So once you've got enough visitors viewing the form and you have a clear idea of your opt-in rate, you want to see how you can drive more email list subscribers. Main thing is look for high leverage tests. We're not testing button colors. We're not testing font size. Go for massive changes. Change the offer. Change the data you're collecting. Change the way you're collecting it. Right. Just go ahead and check the common pop-up mistakes and A/B split testing your pop-up sections below for more info. And we're going to cover those sections like later on in a second. And then lastly, regular updates and changes. You want to make sure you're adjusting and changing the pop-ups based on seasonality, holidays, major sales events. Just make sure that like you can like leave it up for like months at a time, but after a while you want to make sure it's updated and making sure that like if you already got it perfect, you got a really good opt-in rate you like, make sure you change it based on like Black Friday or the holiday season. We've seen changes like even just changing up the format or changing an image or like just some text saying like the Mother's Day sale or Black Friday. It's going to change the opt-in rates. So keep that in mind. So that's essentially it. We covered everything. So what we've covered so far are the types of pop-ups you have set up or you can set up, the types of offers you can set up, the data you can collect, and how to set up a pop-up. Now, we have this ultimate 32-step pop-up conversion checklist. This is an ultimate checklist to ensure everything is optimized for maximum conversions. If you can check all these items off, you're well on your way to pop-up success. I'm not going to go through all these right now over the video. If you click the link in the description, sign up, and get access to this document, you can go through it in your own time. But it just covers some really simple fundamentals that we've already done, such as teasers, optimal timing, making sure your offer is optimized, making sure your design is really well done, your copy, the technical implementation, and then there's also some conversion boosters, such as stuff like you can include testimonials, a progress bar, a timer, personalization, all that stuff. And then also one thing to keep in mind is that a pop-up that converts well but creates a negative brand impression isn't truly successful in the long run. Try to find a sweet spot where effectiveness meets brand consistency. So like, you could be super on brand, but then if you have a spin to win on your website, I mean, it's gonna work, right? But is it really on brand? Like, is that something you really want to go for? It's something to keep in mind as well, because there's certain things like that can really leave a bad taste in people's mouths. Okay, so now that we got all that out of the way, you have your pop-up set up, but it's not performing as well as you like. Here are 10 common email pop-up mistakes that are probably sabotaging your opt-in rates. So here are pretty much after implementing dozens of pop-ups for e-commerce brands, we've identified the most common mistakes that can really wreck your results. Number one, obviously, is starting off with a weak offer. So as you can see here from REI, the only offer they have is to get news, deals, and more from REI. Like there's nothing, I don't know what I'm getting when I sign up, right? And so one thing to keep in mind, your offer is the number one most important aspect of your pop-up. If it's not compelling enough, visitors simply won't convert. So for high AOV products, use dollar amounts instead of percentages. If you can't offer discounts, get creative with like non-discount offers such as exclusive content. And I mean like lead magnets. Don't be like them and say, oh, you get exclusive content. No, like literally say, what are you going to get? Early access or giveaways. And then also A/B split test different offers to find out what resonates with your audience. Number two is too many form fields. So you can see here, they have the email, first name, phone number, and then gender, male or female. Each additional form field you add will reduce opt-in rates. Asking for too much information upfront will create friction and abandonment. So start with just the email address, collect that, and then move on to a different slide for more info if you want it, right? And then, like we said, like we covered before as a pro tip, adding form fields or quiz-like fields can sometimes boost opt-in rates if it's set up correctly, but more often than not, you're probably going to see a 15 to 20% decrease in signups for every additional slide or form you tack on. So that's kind of like something to expect. It's not always the case, but it's something to like keep in mind. Last, number 3, poor timing. Showing pop-ups too early disrupts the user experience before visitors understand your value proposition. And then also showing them too late means that many visitors leave before seeing them. Make sure you find the sweet spot. So for most sites, 3 to 10 seconds after a page load is the sweet spot. If you are really looking to see like an exit intent or something, you can analyze your Google Analytics average session duration to inform your pop-up timing. So if most visitors are leaving after 20 seconds, make sure that your pop-up appears before then. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Number 4, slow load speed. Pop-ups that load sluggishly create a poor user experience are more likely to be closed immediately. Nowadays, we have internet speed is not really a huge deal. It's not like a massive problem, but it is something to keep in mind that other people might have trouble with internet issues, right? So compress all the images that you use on your pop-ups. Consider removing images entirely if that's something that might be the case. And especially if it's like a huge image. And then also test load time across different connection speeds. Lastly, or actually not lastly, this is like the 5th one. We have many more to go. Number 5 is improper size and positioning. So pop-ups that are like way too small can be easily ignored, while those that don't appear in the optimal viewing area might get missed. So especially if it's like a slide in, like out in the corner of the screen, make sure it's big enough to make sure that like people can see it and they don't miss it. That's something that kind of can happen. So make sure like on desktop, aim for pop-ups that occupy 30 to 50% of the screen. On mobile, cover 70 to 90% of the screen. And then ensure pop-ups appear in the center of the visible viewport, or like they are visible. Some softwares might be like a little iffy with how they show up. And then also create separate designs for mobile and desktop. Pro tip, for mobile to pop-ups, keep the most important elements like the headline and form above the fold to ensure that they're seen without scrolling. So essentially, like if you have a mobile like let's say this is like the mobile screen, you want to make sure that like your pop-up comes up and then you can clearly see like the headline and the offer, and they don't really have to scroll down to see like to like input their information or input the email or to click the button. You want to make sure it's all within the viewing port, similar to like how it is for here on Klaviyo. For this pop-up, I can see everything I need to know about this pop-up right here. I don't really need to scroll down to see what's going on, right? So keep that in mind. Next, number 6, it's too much text. You can see here, you have all this text. No one's ever going to read it. Most visitors already understand pop-ups. You don't need paragraphs of info to explain your offer, your newsletter, or why you want to click their email. It's going to hinder your performance if you try to just explain yourself. So limit your pop-up copy to one clear headline, one sub-headline, and then CTA button text. Eliminate phrases like sign up for exclusive offers and promotions. This is already implied. You can still include that, but just you don't have to write paragraphs about it. And then if you're going to do it, like make sure that make sure it looks different, make sure it looks new, right? At least just try a different copy to see what's going to drive the most results. And then if you have like build benefits in the pop-up, use bullet points. That's a simple way of doing that. And like reducing the overall like text size. Next is visual clutter. This rarely happens, but pop-ups with too many visual elements confuse visitors and dilute the primary call to action. So as you can see here, it's almost impossible to see the text and form with this overall background because of the image. And so you can't even see like the email opt-in, like the input, like for the form. So like it doesn't really make any sense. So make sure to use a clean, simple design with ample white space. Limit your color palette to 2 to 3 colors. Use visual hierarchy, direct attention to the offer and CTA. And then also, when you're in doubt, remove elements rather than adding them, because adding more will just make it more complicated. Number 8, yes, I'm going to be using the same picture twice. This is a clear or unclear or hidden offer. So if visitors can't immediately understand what they'll get by engaging with your pop-up, they're going to ignore it and close it. I don't know. You can't really see what this pop-up is offering, but if you scroll in and like zoom in really closely, it says it's offering $5 off your first order, but you can't even see that. It's impossible. So make sure your offer is the most prominent element in the design. Use specific language about what they're going to receive. Ensure the offer is visible without scrolling, and then highlight the offer with contrasting colors or larger text. 9. Poor mobile optimization. So with 70% of e-com traffic coming from mobile devices, pop-ups that aren't properly optimized for smaller screens can alienate the majority of your visitors. So as you can see here from Giordano's, they have this image on the pop-up that's taking up a majority of the mobile viewing screen. You can still see the offer, but you can't really see like the form or the button. And so people have to scroll for that, and that's kind of gets in the way. So that's not something we really want. You want to make sure that you create a dedicated mobile pop-up design, and ensure that mobile users don't have to scroll to view the entire pop-up, and then test it on multiple devices before launching. Lastly, neglecting the post-submission experience. So I see this often too. Don't neglect what happens after the submission. You want to make sure that you deliver on your promises. And this is like a really simple mistake that often goes overlooked because brands don't test the pop-ups sometimes. And it's just like, you guys don't have a thank you slide. I don't know what to do after I submit my information. And so if you're sending incentive via welcome flow, make sure all new subscribers receive that welcome email. If it's through the thank you, make sure the coupon works, or like the link works, right? You have to make sure everything works throughout the entire customer experience, because if not, then you're shooting yourself in the foot, essentially. And so yeah, just make sure you avoid all these common mistakes, and you'll create highly converting pop-ups that also enhance the overall user experience on your site. So now that we got that out of the way, let's cover 6 pop-up A/B split tests every brand should run for maximum ROI. So A/B split testing is how you're going to find high-performing pop-ups from the average ones. By systematically testing different elements, you're going to continuously improve your pop-up opt-in rates and drive more revenue. So before you start split testing, let's just agree on a few things before you get started. Number 1, split testing is reserved for businesses who benefit from it. Many first-time business owners get caught up in the little details in their business that don't matter to avoid the big hurdles that they need to overcome that do matter, okay? I'm not going to repeat myself. Reread that like 5 times, okay? You should only be split testing if your business is making at least $75K per month or has like 20,000 website visitors per month. If that's not happening, you do not need a split test or pop-up, because it's not going to make that much of a difference, okay? If you're getting 100 visitors to your website per day, you have no reason to try performing split tests, because not only will it take a while to get enough data in order to make an informed decision, even when you do, it still won't drive an incremental difference in your business. Trust me. This is for like 10, 20, 30% incremental lifts with like email, which is like overall revenue, probably like 5 to 10%. And so if you're looking for like 5 to 10% incremental lift and you're making $1,000 a month, or you're making $5,000 a month, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Trust me. It's not going to, if you're making $5,000 a month, you want to look how to make $15,000 per month. And it's not going to be from these like little minute things. Okay. Just to get that out of the way. Number 2, running a split test requires data and lots of it. So if you're running a split test, you need adequate data to back up your findings. Every test you run should have a minimum of 2,000 to 3,000 visitors or 1,000 submissions per variation to get statistically significant results. Number 3, focus on high leverage tests first. What we're looking for is high leverage tests. We're not testing button colors or font size. We're looking for offers, data collection, all that stuff. And that's why I broke down every test by impact level. And then number 4, track opt-in rates, bounce rates, and attributed orders and revenue. We already covered this earlier, but make sure you're tracking that. Now, split tests to run for pop-ups. Here are the top A/B tests you should be running for pop-ups ranked by impact. So number 1 is offer testing. Your offer is by far the highest leverage element you can be testing. The right offer can double or even triple your opt-in rate. So test percentage discounts versus dollar amount discounts. Test out mystery offers, free gifts with purchase, anything that can help you acquire more subscribers, customers, and revenue per website visitor. This is huge. This is a big one that's going to make a big impact on you. Number 2 is pop-up format or type. So testing the difference between standard pop-ups or a full screen or a slide in, or using the little banner at the bottom left-hand side. These are also all really important things that you really have to be looking out for, and like just changing the format can help out quite a bit. Next is timings and triggers. So when your pop-up appears can be just as important as what it contains. This one's important for total opt-ins, not just opt-in rate. So if your website visitors are bouncing before they can even see your pop-up, then that's an issue, okay? That's something to keep in mind. So you're not going to really see this with the opt-in rate. You just want to play around with the timings and triggers to see how many more opt-ins can you be getting based on the visitors you're getting. Number 4, visual elements. So use different images use different images using different content. Some images may appeal more than others. Test image without an image, product imagery versus lifestyle imagery, or even the placement of the image can help out quite a bit. Next is copy length and tone. Use more direct response copy throughout the forms and CTA buttons. Be specific, short to the point, make your offer clear. And then also close options. So you never want to make it difficult for visitors to close a pop-up when they're on your site. Just split test close form button below your main CTA versus like an X in the corner of your form, or both. That's something to keep in mind as well. Now, we went through a lot today. We already went through a ton of stuff. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty stuff. This is the advanced pop-up strategies that we've used for like 7 and 9 figure brands. If you are an established brand that's generating 200K per month or 2 million per year, like 2 million in revenue annually, you ideally have enough website traffic and bandwidth to try advanced pop-up strategies for incremental revenue. So these advanced pop-up strategies can help you capture more emails, collect valuable zero-party data, and create a memorable brand experience through gamification. Also, to drive overall revenue. So hopping into this, number one is mystery box pop-ups. So this is pretty much just a gamified pop-up that presents visitors with multiple mystery boxes or pictures to choose from, each containing a different offer or discount. The visitor can select a box to reveal their prize and then submits their emails to receive it. So as we can see from the metery, you're scrolling through and it says choose your favorite cut to reveal your discount, and then it has like different cuts. This is like a brand that sells like cuts of meat over the internet. Like they'll ship out ribeyes and steaks and burgers, and so you can see like, oh, I could get a tomahawk, filet mignon, or a ribeye. I could pick out which one is my favorite, and then it goes into like a mystery discount kind of thing, right? So it's kind of a blend of a mystery discount, but you don't know what you're picking out because it's like multiple different options. So pretty much it will just include 3 to 5 different mystery boxes for selection, and then you can preset probability distribution for different rewards. So 60% chance of getting a 10% discount, 30% chance of getting 15% discount, and so forth. Also keep this in mind for like legality reasons. Just gotta get this out of the way. Although most of the prizes can include the same discount, if you're going to do something like this, you're legally required to differentiate the rewards. Not all options can include the same discount. And I say this because you can get a lawsuit if you set it up this way, and someone feels like they've been misled into believing that they'll get a better discount or something in order to. I mean, like the messaging here is like pretty good, but for like legality reasons, you should probably change up the discount because it's kind of like misleading to people to think that, oh, they'll get a different discount based on what they pick, right? So that's something to just like keep in mind. Number 2 is a spin to win pop-up. This is a gamified pop-up featuring a surprise wheel that visitors can spin after submitting the email address, with different segments presenting different offers or discounts. So it's pretty much like 4 to 8 wheel segments, very similar to like the mystery box, but it's just like literally you can see what you're gonna win and you just spin it to see what's gonna pop up, right? We've already seen this. I don't really need to get too in depth on that. Again, like I said before, similar to the mystery box pop-ups, if you're giving a can't miss offer, such as like 75% off or free gift, something that's like highly valuable and desired, you're legally required to give them a chance to earn that reward, right? Because otherwise it's just unfair, and you can get sued for it. So just don't rig the prize wheel to only land on the cheapest option 100% of the time. Even if it's a 1% chance, it's a chance, and you can legally show that, but you have to have that give away that chance, right? Or else you might get sued. 3, promotion specific pop-ups. So as you get larger, you can definitely customize your pop-ups based on special events coming up, like a holiday or a sales event. If it's a Mother's Day, Black Friday, Labor Day, you'll see an increase in opt-ins simply by making your pop-up congruent to the event. Okay, so just plan ahead for special holidays. Changing your offer, you don't really need to change the offer. Just giving it a facelift for promotional events has seen a direct impact from what we've seen. Number 4 are special offers for churn customers or VIPs. So these are special pop-ups that display exclusive offers specifically for churned customers or VIP customers, acknowledging their status and giving them special treatment for these audiences. So if you're like past 2 million per year, or at least per month, you're going to see you're probably spending a lot on paid advertising through Meta, Google, TikTok, SEO, all that sort of stuff. And so a lot of people who have like churned from you, a lot of old customers, a lot of VIPs, they're going to see your ads, they're going to click on them, they're going to land on your site. And so you have a chance there to say, hey, what can we do with this audience to make them feel engaged, special? How can we make them feel like, they earned a spot? Like if they're churned, how can we win them back? And then if they're a VIP, how can we give them special treatment? All that sort of stuff. And one way is just having a pop-up that can identify them and say, hey, this is a churn customer. We could give them an offer. We can give them an exclusive discount, right? Because you should see that like anywhere between 10 and 40% of your total customers are returning visitors, or total visitors are returning visitors, in which many of them are the customers. So if you want to drive a higher total customer lifetime value, giving them a nudge with an exclusive pop-up or coupon can help a lot. So keep that in mind. Segment returning visitors based on like previous purchase value, number of orders, products that they've purchased. This is also like really good. Like you don't have to have an offer. You can really just say, hey, we have a new product. We launched something. It's huge. It's new. And then it's just a redirect to that product page, right? So it's super simple. You could also do tiered offers based on customer value. Use language that makes customers feel special. So like exclusive VIP offer just for you, welcome back, right? Just like recognize the fact that like, hey, we know like you're an old customer or you're someone special, like just come back to shop with us. It's pretty good converting pop-up. Next is an abandoned cart exit intent pop-up. So this is an exit intent pop-up for people who have an item in their cart. Instead of waiting an hour or two to send them a reminder via abandoned cart flow, you can literally recover that potentially lost sale immediately with this pop-up saying, hey, we saw you're about to leave, or here's this discount, or you don't even have to do a discount. You could say, hey, look at these testimonials that these people have left for this product, or look at, this is backed by, we've served 100,000 customers. We're featured in these publications, all that sort of stuff. So you can see how this performs with like a higher conversion rate, and you don't even have to collect information. It's just based on exit intent. And then also you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to offer a discount either. It could be testimonials, badges, reviews, or even FAQs. That can help out quite a bit. And then there's some implementation tips. You can customize the message based on cart value. You can push people to like if you have a chat box in your website, you can push them to that, or then even use like scarcity elements, like we only have 3 left in stock, stuff like that. Next is source-based pop-ups. We already kind of covered this before, but if people are coming from a specific site like Facebook, Instagram, a specific blog post, or a PR mention, you can give them a specific pop-up as well. And so this could be great for like PR mentions or articles from popular publications if you're noticing a big difference, or lots of people coming from that site. Next is SMS collection for existing email subscribers. So this is going back to like the targeting in Klaviyo. There's a lot of people that are going to sign up for your email list to get a pop-up or an offer through an email, and then they won't sign up for SMS. But what can happen is that those people will come back, and then you can retarget them again and say, hey, listen, you could get an extra discount if you sign up for SMS. And it can literally be the same discount that you gave them on the first pop-up. But you're just getting you're collecting not only their SMS, right? You're building that list, but then you're also increasing that overall value because you're giving them an incentive to buy from you, right? So these pop-ups can appear only for identified email subscribers with the goal of capturing phone numbers for SMS. And then the more channels you can use to access your audience, the more touch points you can make to drive revenue. That's the key principle there. And so yeah, and then also consider timing this pop-up for when they're already engaged, so like post-purchase or after an email click. Next is cross-sell and upsell. So these are like really strategic pop-ups that appear when a visitor adds something to the cart. And then you can offer complimentary items or upgraded versions to increase average order value. So it's really just like the, we thought you might like this section on the bottom of a page saying like, hey, you might be also interested in these products. It's literally just this pop-up for that. And this could be like for specific products, or it could be multiple products. Depends on what you're really looking for. And then also you're getting people at like the moment of highest buying intent. So right when they add something in their cart, oh, they're really interested in buying. Oh, do you want to add, like here we can see Speedo, someone bought sandals and then they're in their cart and they're offering a discount on their goggles as well. So that's a simple upsell, cross-sell there that can really increase your average order value, right? So cross-sells focus on frequently bought together items, necessary accessories or add-ons, or complementary products. And then upsells just upsell like the premium feature, or the premium product, or like more in bulk. So like if someone bought a stock, like a bottle of something, give them a bundle for 3, stuff like that. And that's essentially it. That's all the strategies that you might be using for your 7 to 9 figure brand. Next are some 20 plus high converting pop-up forms. So I've compiled a Figma file of 20 plus high converting pop-ups from leading DTC brands such as Breeze, Obvi, Solo Wave that drive up to 20% opt-in rates. You could check it out here if you sign up for the if you go in and sign up for the link in the description to get the access to this document. These are all powered by Alia. We love using Alia. We are actually affiliated with them. We love them. They're great partners. You can also hear some results that you can expect, and then also here's access to all the pop-ups that kind of come up here based on the brands that are right here. Now, wrapping this whole thing up, I know this has been a long video. Hopefully you took tons of notes. Hopefully you got access to the document because it's a big one. It's probably the only pop-up document you're really going to ever need if you really grab it. But we're getting into it. Using pop-ups is pretty much no longer optional for your e-commerce brands that want to grow. Implementing them can not only build your email and SMS list, but also collect data, improve personalization, and drive more revenue. So just quick recap, choose the right pop-up type for your goals and audience, craft a compelling offer, design your emails or your pop-ups for conversion with clean layouts and clear CTAs, implement proper timing and targeting, continuously test and optimize, collect additional data, and then work your way towards advanced pop-up strategies. And then remember that your pop-up strategy should evolve with your business. Like I said before, I broke out those advanced pop-up strategies because it's not going to really work. They can work for lower businesses, but you're not going to save a huge increase. You're not going to see a massive, ROI from them. It's only going to benefit people who are really looking for, it's only going to benefit brands who are really looking for incremental lift on their website or with their paid ads or with their email marketing, right? So remember that your pop-up strategy should evolve with your business. What works for a brand new store is going to be different from what works for an established business with a large existing customer base. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's essentially it. That's the overall entire course. Some next steps to grow your business. You could grab my ultimate welcome flow guide here. It'll show you how to convert 22% more new email subscribers into paying customers, get prospects to make their first purchase faster, and lower CPAs up to 35% and drive more revenue per website visitor. You could grab that here if you get the document, or you can find it on the YouTube channel. If you want more helpful tips and guides, you can follow me on my social links and my Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you want help setting up your pop-ups and your e-commerce brand that's doing at least $1 million per year in revenue, book a free consultation call down below, and we will create a new pop-up form for free, as well as review your current pop-up strategy, identify your biggest opportunities for improvement, and share customized recommendations for your specific business. That's it. I'm Matthew Gao. We're the Kaizen Blitz, and have a fantastic, lovely day.